Ladies and gentlemen, this is the YouTube channel vlog show of inspiration and realness. Also, this is the YouTube channel vlog show of positivity, personality, and fun. This is Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977, and now the perpetrator of these shenanigans, Big Beefy E himself from his Big Beefy Man Cave in New Bedford, Massachusetts, Mr. Shenanigans himself, and the two-time Chilling 3000 2022 End of the Year Awards winner, Eric M. Lima. Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer. Well, hello there. Welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans, 1977, episode 427 of the show. And we're about to watch NXT, the fallout from Roadblock. That's last week, and it was a heck of a matchup to say the least. But, however, I know that I'm sure there's going to be a little update on what's happened to the NXT Women's Champ, Roxanne Perez, and and a lot of people just know. So they're right now they are doing the recap from Roadblock. So this is going to be a lot of fun. So it's going to be very interesting. Johnny Gargano is making his return to NXT to talk about his history between him and Grayson Waller. He'll address that for sure. And Shawn Michaels, and I'll tell you what, this is going to be a heck of a feud. Once again, it's like a year-long story, almost a year plus year-long storyline being told. So it's going to be very interesting to see what is going to happen here. So anyway, this is going to be very interesting to see what happens on NXT tonight. The fallout from Roadblock. I mean, I think Roxanne Perez kind of and when I saw what happened to her, I think she pushed beyond her limits. And I think in order to beat somebody like Meiko Satomura, you have to. But I'm glad that she'll be okay. She needs some rest. She's, I think Roxanne Perez is about to prove herself. And she's very young, only 21 years old. So she's got a bright upside to her future. And I'll tell you what. I think that match took out a lot of Roxanne Perez. I'm hoping that she'll be all right. The referees thought that Meiko was going to hurt her. No, Meiko's an honorable warrior. She would never do that. And I can imagine what going through Meiko's mind. And I'm hoping that Meiko kind of felt bad, and Meiko wanted to make sure that she's okay. I mean, I'm hoping that she'll be all right. So we'll see what happens, and I'm sure we will get some answers from that. So we're gonna be doing this throughout the night, and we will get going. So we shall see what has happened. So here we go. All right, let's see what went on. Johnny Gargano kicked off NXT, like I said, and he was talking about Grayson Waller and how he has left without any closure, and now he's back to get that closure. But Vic Joseph checked out his phone, and because he knew Johnny Gargano personally, and he says Johnny Gargano is at his house, and Vic Joseph alerted Gargano, hey, Grayson Waller at his house. And watching Johnny Gargano. So this ought to be very interesting. And then you got Axiom following Wes Lee in the parking lot. Say, hey, no one's taking my title shot. He goes, well, what are you going to do in the next 8 hours? Well, are you hungry? I can eat, So that's that. And now Gallus will be taking on Pretty Deadly to defend the NXT Tag Team Championships. So that is on the card next. So when we get back to the commercial break. So that's how everything is so far. Fallout from Roadblock, Gargano kicked off NXT, addressing Grayson Waller. Grayson Waller was alerted. Vic Joseph alerted Gargano that Grayson Waller is at Gargano's house. And then you got Axiom following Wes Lee for the next 8 hours. Looks like he's going to be hanging out with Wes Lee for a bit. And now, Pretty Deadly will take is entering the arena to take on Gallus for the NXT Tag Team titles. So I will be right back, and I'll give you the heads up on the other parts. All right, there's a picture-in-picture break for NXT. So Gallus boys are trying to take the rest of the NXT tag team titles away from the Gallus boys. The pretty deadly, I should say. Pretty deadly is recuperating outside the ring, while the Gallus boys on top, they're trying to keep the tag team titles, while Pretty Deadly is trying to take it away from them. So, oh yeah, since it is snowing outside, but not a lot of it's touching the roads. 'Tis the season to drink hot chocolate. Oh, it is still the season. And remember, we're still in the wintertime for only, 6 more days. It is the 14th, so the tag team titles are definitely on the line. Pretty Deadly's trying to get control of the matchup here. And while double team, Kit Wilson and Elton Prince. What a name. Kit Wilson. I'm sure he took that name from Knight Rider, and he had to spell it with one T. And then you got the Wilson part. Everyone knows Elton Prince. You got Elton John and Prince. That's good. Right now, Elton Prince working on Wolfgang here in the matchup, and I'm trying to keep myself warm here, and this hot chocolate's helping me do that. So it's crazy, man. Let me tell you. So tag made. I'm muting the sound because I don't want to get a copyright claim or strike or anything. So right now, this is where we're at. Well, actually, Wolfgang in control of the matchup. So, okay. I also got to tell you that before the matchup, though, Mackenzie Mitchell tried to interview Gargano, asking, and goes, Mackenzie Mitchell and Vic Joseph are close friends with Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano. And Johnny Gargano says, I got to go home. I got to check. Grayson Waller is really playing a dangerous game here, my friends. And believe me, once Gargano gets his hands on Waller, I'll tell you one thing right now. And I think he was calling Candice to lock the doors and everything else. And, anything can happen at this rate. Well, meanwhile, the Gallows boys are in control of this matchup, seriously. I mean, this is, let's see. The hot chocolate smells so good. So, anyways. So, this whole snow is supposed to taper off by 2 in the morning. According to WPRI, Tony Petrarca says maybe taper off by midnight. And that means we're probably not going to get much snow here. Weather.com and the Weather Channel saying 1 to 3 inches. But WPRI 12 saying we're just going to get a coating to an inch. Which, could be a little bit of a headache. I don't know how, National Weather Service saying, weather.gov saying 1 to 2 inches of snow. But the mall's already closed, so I don't have to worry about going back in. So, yeah, speaking of the Dartmouth Mall, if you're, we had this whole entire schedule, so nobody drive up to me and ask me what time the mall opens, because they have the actual schedule up in big letters, big bold letters, so you can see, and all that. And not only that, though, so we're going to get back to the action, though. All right, I'll see you. All right, here's what happened. Gallus did retain the titles against Pretty Deadly, but Josh Briggs and Fallon Henley are trying to find evidence, breaking into Kiana James' office to find evidence that that Kiana James is cheating on Brooks Jensen. They found it. Sebastian. Who is this Sebastian guy? Poor Brooks. This poor kid, Brooks Jensen. Come on. If only you know it, Brooks Jensen will probably transform into a member of Right to Censor. His father did. Anyways. Anyways. And then HBK had tweeted that Roxanne Perez is going to be undergoing a series of tests, but unfortunately, due to concussion protocol, they may have to crown a brand new NXT Women's Champion. Unfortunately, Roxanne Perez, I feel bad because she worked very, very hard. So they're going to have women's qualifying matches to decide, and whoever wins will go on to stand and deliver to compete in a ladder match to crown a new NXT Women's Champion. So, unfortunately, looks like Roxanne Perez maybe have to vacate the championship. Poor girl. She's very young, working very, very hard. They probably want to keep her safe too, and that could be very, very important too. So, and I'm sure Roxanne Perez will probably get the title back. I I really don't know. So they're going to start the first matchup of the women's qualifying matchup. It will be Soruka going one-on-one with Zoe Stark. So I really don't know how to feel about that. And I liked Roxanne Perez. She was wonderful as champion, but now that she had to be because of her concussion and everything else, and I'm hoping that she gets better, she gets fine, and gets back on her feet again. So get well soon, Roxanne. Get well soon. Well, unfortunately, the doctor did give up an update on the health of Roxanne Perez, and unfortunately, they have no timetable for her return to in-ring action. So, because of what happened last week on Roadblock, I should say. So, that's why Shawn Michaels set up the women's qualifying matches. Now, there will be a triple threat match involving the team of Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, the winning team. And I'm sure Katana Chance and Kaden Carter are involved as well. I don't know who the third team they put together is. But I think the winning team will challenge Kiana James and Fallon Henley for the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. And it seems like the mind games will start now because of what Fallon has discovered. Looks like if I were Brooks Jensen, I would just be left alone at this point. So that's what's going on, and the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship qualifying matchup, triple threat match, will be coming up next. I will get back to you with results and the participants or any other events that have happened on NXT Fallout from Roadblock. All right, now the triple threat qualifying matchup, number one contenders match. Whoever wins goes to stay and deliver to face the team of Fallon Henley and Kiana James for the NXT Women's Tag Team titles. It's the team of Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, the former champs, Kaden Conner and Katana Chance, like I mentioned. And the third team was the Diamond Mine team of Tam Paxley and Ivy Nile. And during the matchup, it was doing really well until Ivy Nile went to go reach to her tag against Tatum Paxley. Tatum Paxley extended the hand and pulled it back. Gator hand, as I like to call it, and he said, Gator handed, Ivan Knight. You know how the Gator arms, like short arms, Gator handed. That's what I'm gonna call it. I'm calling it Gator handed. Extend the end and then you pull it back, and it's like a form of a gator, or an alligator, or a crocodile, or Gator handed. Niall saying that we were never a team, and then Isla Dawn kicked her out of the ring, but she was one of the legal people in that ring. Then they took out Katana Chance and Kane Carter, and then Tatum Paxley kicked Ivy Nile in the stomach, threw her back in the ring, and got Ivy Nile, not Ivy Nile, Isla Dawn and Alba Fire to finish off Ivy Nile. 1, 2, 3. So it will be the NXT Women's Tag Team title on the line. Fallon Henley and Kiana James are about to approach some more problems to go up against defending the tag team titles against Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. That's right. It's going to be something else. And meanwhile, Ilya Dragunov, oh, cute doggy. Oh, he's a goofball. Dog's like, what? So anyways, so up next, Ilya Dragunov's about to speak, and what's going through his mind. I think one person comes from his mind, that'd be J.D. McDonough. I want to see what that's about. So we will be right back after this commercial break. Well, it seems like to me Ilya Dragunov was addressing J.D. McDonough. He says he wants to end this. J.D. McDonough comes out, say we're destined to do this forever. And they started brawling to the back and brawling to the parking lot. Then Mackenzie Mitchell interviewed Pretty Deadly, reminding them, hey, you're no longer tag team champions. And then, and then Pretty Deadly's like, wait a minute. They had an idea. They want to host Stand and Deliver. It's like the Miz hosting WrestleMania. That's the way he's going to be. So I'm checking out the WrestleMania Goes Hollywood, Rhea Ripley The Stranger Things, you get John Cena taunting Rhea Ripley, taking, oh boy, Rhea Ripley's mad. And anyways, and then all of a sudden and then Wesley was about to enter the ring, defend his title against Axiom, and then then both McDonough and Dragunov decided to brawl back to the ring. And brawl back inside the building, and then Wesley starts talking to Jamie McDonough. He's gonna whoop your butt. Jamie McDonough pushes him. They start going at it. You know what? A heck of an idea. Stand, deliver, get them, get anybody. Have Wesley on the gauntlet. I don't care. This is gonna be. Wesley's a nutcase and a half. Let me tell you, it's gonna be crazy to say the least. So Wesley, I think he's on his way to defend the NXT title against Axiom next. So. Not NXT title. North American Championship. What am I thinking? Braun Breaker's the NXT champion. Jeepers. I'm screwing up already, folks. I'm worried about the weather outside. It's a little bit snowy. And so, I think according to what WPRA tells us, they ain't going to stick to the roads, which is because of the warm surface on the ground. That could be another reason why. It's going to be up to 45 tomorrow. So whatever we get here is going to melt away. So, whatever. So, we got that going. So yeah, give me the weather report while doing NXT, the fallout from Roadblock. So I think coming up next, the NXT North American title, Wesley versus Axiom. So yeah, I think my brain's getting tired too. So I will be right back and see what happens. Oh, I forgot some very important parts beforehand. Before all that happened, Braun Breaker was texting someone. I don't know. He was probably checking out his girlfriend Corey Jade's picture or something like that. Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stacks Lorenzo approached him and said, hey, we take a medal for you. Appreciate the offer, guys, but you know what? Let me handle this. And, Braun Breaker sells him some Sopranos jokes or something like that. And so, anyways, as he walks away, and then Tony D'Angelo said, this can go for the family. He said, oh, yeah, somebody face the winner of Breaker and Mello. No, how about the Wesley Open Challenge? No. I said, you be sticking out your neck for me. So, it looks like they want to go after the Tag Team Championship. Looks like big plans for the for the boys and for the family, the D'Angelo family. So that's before Ilya Dragunov and all that happened. So I forgot to mention that part to you. We will be right back, and we'll check you guys later out for the North American title will be on the line as Wesley defends it against Axiom. The North American title could be the most coveted title in NXT right now. Everybody in the locker room has been brawling over it. While that's going on, Grayson Waller's on a neighborhood watch, checking out Johnny Gargano's estate. Yeah, Grayson Waller's gonna get his butt kicked when Johnny Gargano gets his hands on him. Wesley decided to enter the ring as the locker room was brawling in the back, and then the brawl spilled out towards ringside. Axiom tried to attack Lee, tried to get at Lee, and Lee ends up dodging him. Axiom falls flying into the brawl. JD McDonough clotheslines Lee from behind. Then they're about to go at it, and then Dragunov comes in. Ilya Dragunov comes in, and he starts attacking McDonough. The brawl's outside the ring, and then all of a sudden, Wesley goes, heck, why not? Jumps in there, jumps in the foray. Everybody's fighting and beating the crap out of each other. Then Mackenzie Mitchell was interviewing the newest member of NXT, Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee says you're expecting a lot of what Lucha Libre is. And, Dragon Lee couldn't have come at a better time with Rey Mysterio getting inducted to the WWE Hall of Fame. So that's, Dragon Lee, I'm sure he's probably looking forward to hearing what Rey Mysterio has to say. And that's probably a big thing. So Dragon Lee, perfect timing on you coming into the WWE, and I'm just really excited about what's going to happen, man. It's going to be totally cool. So, and next up, I think the grudge match. They had a little promo on the grudge match between Dabba-Kato and Apollo Crews. They're going to go at it next. Who knows? This match could their brawl could take up another level, and freaking Zdeno Chara. Oh my God. Scalabrini, Lenny Clark and Dennis Leary. I don't forget. All right then. So that's what's going on, and the grudge match is next between Dabba-Kato and Apollo Crews. Dabba-Kato, formerly known as Commander Aziz. Alrighty then. Commercial break and then Mackenzie Mitchell interviewed JC Jane after her loss to Gigi Dolan last week at Roadblock, and she suffered a separated shoulder, and she's upset at Gigi Dolan. I think when she does come back, her and Gigi Dolan are going to have a war. I mean, these ladies, formerly known as Toxic Trash, are going to have a war. So, and I'll tell you what. Talking about the women's division is really heating up in NXT right now. Apollo Crews is going one-on-one with Dabba-Kato right now. These two are beating the snot out of each other outside the ring before the match even began. Now the match is happening, and now, Dabba-Kato with the size advantage, man, roughing up. I don't know what Dabba-Kato's up to, but let me tell you something, man. It's going to be, you can't use them stairs. You can get your butt DQ'd. And, yeah, there you go. Apollo Crews and Dabba-Kato. This is a grudge match that's been happening, man. It's crazy. Dabba-Kato's he's like 6 foot, almost near 7 feet tall, man. I'm telling you. Apollo Crews and him, I'll tell you one thing, they had a history and they aren't going at it. Oh, excuse me. Oh. Excuse me, almost that time, it's 9:30 already, so. Like I said, good news is the mall is closed and it's still snowing out. But like I said, none of it's touching the roads. This could be a good thing. So they, according to WPRI, it could be according to an inch. Like again, 1 to 3, a little bit. We could be in that 1 to 3 range though. But most of it's gonna be grass surfaces and car tops, which is not that bad really. But it's gonna warm up to like 45 degrees tomorrow. So. And partly cloudy, so it's going to be very interesting to say the least. So we'll see what happens. All right, we'll get back and see what happens. So we'll see what happens this matchup. Right now Dabba-Kato is dominating. So we will check you laters. Okay, Dabba-Kato did pick up the victory over Apollo Crews. However, NXT Anonymous was spying on Wesley. Talking to Shawn Michaels. Michael says, hey, your open challenges are really causing chaos. We got to do something. Wesley's trying to convince him, hey, I got to prove myself and all that. But then he said, I want 10 of the best. He goes, no. I'll meet you halfway. We'll do 5 of the best. You pick up the 4, be a fatal 5-way for the North American title at Stand and Deliver. Fine. And they hug, and he said, thank you very much, sir. It's like, Wesley, I gotta respect the guy. He wants to really be a fighting champion. He wants anybody. So he wants anybody. So it's like, I gotta respect Wesley for that. But Shawn Michaels has a point. But here's the fun part about the whole thing, though. Wesley gets to pick out the best 4. So there's that. Brooks Jensen, Kiana James got a hold of Josh Briggs and Fallon Henley. They think they don't, and Brooks Jensen trying to wish Fallon Henley good luck for a matchup in the women's championship qualifying match, but as he goes to try to give her a kiss, she walks away. I'm like, oh boy. I think Briggs and Henley, well, they may have gotten something on that. So let's see what happens in this saga. I think that's probably the main event match. No, the contract signing is. So this will be fairly interesting to say the least. So I like NXT is getting more and more hotter and more awesome as time goes by, man. You talk about some of the best talent ever. You get the addition of Dragon Lee, and I gotta tell you, I'm really excited about what's going to happen next. I gotta tell you, it was a heck. This was more crazier moments. The women's qualifying match, Gigi Dolan went one-on-one with Kiana James. That's another lady I like, Gigi Dolan. She is a hottie. And she defeated Kiana James to move on to the women's ladder match, 5-way ladder match, as along with Zoe Stark. But Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, who won the triple threat match to qualify, attacked Kiana James, and then Brooks Jensen ran over to chase them off. And then Johnny Gargano arrives at his house, and Grayson Waller waited for him, attacking him, and they started brawling outside the house. Got to the point where Candice LeRae, with Quill, saw what's going on, and then all of a sudden Johnny Gargano tells her to stay inside. They didn't stay inside. He got to the point where Grayson Waller got the upper hand, starts taunting Candice LeRae and poor Quill, and then after she told Grayson Waller to stop, after Grayson Waller taunted them and Gargano, he walked away, and then Candice LeRae was at his side, and Quill was trying to reach for his daddy, which is so sweet to see that Quill wants to know if daddy's okay, and that's a really sweet family. But Grayson Waller's done it this time. And I'll tell you one thing: if I were Gargano, I would request a Hell in a Cell match. You don't Edge having a Hell in a Cell? Let's get a Hell in a Cell match for NXT. His first Hell in a Cell match in NXT history. Gargano Waller. It's got to be done. It's got to be done. It's got to be done. Next up, the contract signed between Carmelo Hayes and Braun Breaker, NXT title on the line to stand and deliver, and it'll be a North American Open Challenge Fatal 5-Way match. Who are the 4 competitors that will issue that challenge? We'll see. It's going to be a gauntlet match. That would be great. The NXT Women's Tag Team title on the line. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn to challenge the team of Fallon Henley, Kiana James. That team could be on the rocks after what has transpired. And I'm sure, so we have yet to hear from the tag team title situation to see if that could be made. Also, Grayson Waller and Johnny Gargano are going to want to stand and deliver. I can't wait, personally, to see what happens. All right, we'll get back to you with the contract signing and the end of that and the conclusion of this video right after. All right, to conclude this video, looks like Brooks Jensen and Kiana James arguing with Fallon Henley and Josh Briggs over everything with the tag team title situation and whatnot. That is going to be more drama. I think it's stand and deliver. I think you see Briggs and Jensen break apart, and I think you're going to see a mixed tag match feud. And the contract signing did happen. Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes, and so it's just they're sitting there and going, well, who's supposed to host this thing, right? Here comes Pretty Deadly, and I'm like, oh god, this is going to be fun, right? So Pretty Deadly comes up, and so Carmelo Hayes and Braun Breaker had passionate promos saying they want to see the Braun Breaker that's been dominant. They want to see the Carmelo Hayes and all that. And Pretty Deadly keeps interrupting us, and both of them say, hey, shut your mouth. It's between us. And then they signed the contract. It's official. And then they were about to walk away, and then all of a sudden, hey, we want to see some fighting. And I'm like, Pretty Deadly, what are you asking? What are you, stupid? and then Braun Breaker ripped his shirt. Carmelo Hayes took his jacket off. They're about to go at it. You want to see something? They both grabbed a member of Pretty Deadly. They went to a contract table. Chris Welly was like, laughing like Chris Tucker, Smokey, and freaking Ronnie. He's gonna knock the hell out. It was great. It was great. Pretty Deadly. Yes, boy. Went to a table. Let's do it. Pretty Deadly. Yes, boy. Went to a table. And I gotta love it. So that concludes episode 427 of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Tune in tomorrow. Joker's Wild Wednesday. And we got AEW Dynamite tomorrow night. So in Canada for the very first time. And Jay Cargill is issuing an open challenge to any Canadian superstar, a Canadian wrestler, to face her for the TBS title. I wonder who can answer that call. A lot of people have been talking about that. So we will see what's going to happen, all right? So that concludes this episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977, episode number 427, NXT Event Center for the 14th of March, 2023. And thank you for tuning in, and I will see you on the next episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. Until then, Mr. Announcer, please take us home. That is all for today's episode of the show. This is Mr. Lima speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E, do it for Bob Saget production. And in association with A Sweet Bofa Raving Dingleberries Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching another great episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. Until the next episode, goodbye for now.